Del, what do you think are the most important topics going forward? Like looking out the next 12 months, what are the things that we really need to focus on? And if people are listening to us, what should they really think about, be concerned about? I mean, we just had Malone back on, and he talked about this new WHO initiative, which looks pretty dark, that they're already pre-preparing everybody for the next pandemic and trying to take sovereignty away from governments. I mean, I don't know if that's something that's on your radar. Are you looking at the vaccine injured? Are you looking at just the truth finally coming out and people being put to task for the crimes that were committed? Like, what is important for you now?
Well, if people have been watching the progress of the highwire, what's beautiful is we're moving, we were almost strictly a health news agency, if you will, as I said, promoting the lawsuits that we were winning in our investigations with international scientists that we work with around the world. I'm now diving into, AI systems that I think are, I don't think we're going to stop AI, but we should be listening to the Elon Musks and the leaders of Microsoft that are all abandoning their positions and running out in the street and screaming, I no longer am happy with what I've done. I think I've unleashed a monster we may not be able to stop when they talk about AI. The developers of AI over the years are now more terrified of what they've built than those of us that think it's just a science fiction movie. So we have our eye on AI. Certainly, I think good can come from AI. Unfortunately, we've watched a world where it's usually the darkest part of a new technology or system that ends up being funded and utilized against us. I think banking is something that we have to be looking at very closely. I think probably if I was going to say the quickest end to freedom as we know it is in the central reserve of the central banking digital currency. I think if that gets passed in any nation that gets passed in, that nation has just been put in prison. You are no longer a free citizen because now you have your government controls your money. It is now got an imprint and a stamp upon every cent you're using and can start telling you what you can and cannot spend it on. It can also keep you from having contact with it, as we saw Canada during the truckers strike that took place in the march up there, when they started shutting down bank accounts, not just of truckers, but of people that had sort of donated to that cause. That should have sent a shivering chill into the spine of every human being alive on this planet. That is very important to keep our eyes on. We should not let that thought advance anymore. I still believe that the vaccine issue is the tip of the spear. It's what delivers the social tracking systems. They tried to get away with it by having a vaccine passport, which they used in France. I believe even in England, there were some attempts to have a passport on your phone that gave you access. I think it might have been England. I just saw a video of someone trying to get in a grocery store where you have to have a QR code that lets you through the glass doors in order to go and get food. What's in that QR code? Does that have my vaccine record if I'm not vaccinated? If I've said something and spoke out publicly against my government, I mean, what does that QR code? Does I suddenly beep? I can't get through, because that's what China is doing. China is demoting people based on social interactions they've had, things they put their focus on when they're scanning the internet. We should be watching China very, very closely, because there are many stories now that you can't buy a car. There's a documentary about a guy that is not allowed on a train as a journalist because his phone now and his access code denies him travel outside of his city. All of these things are in play. All of these things are critically important, and all of these are the reasons humanity needs to wake up now, because the truth is, this isn't actually a fight. This is a tiny group of people. There's no fight if we stand up simultaneously together and say, we're not going to take this anymore. You're fired. We have enough democracies around the world to take control of this. But as you said, the vaccine issue, we need to get rid of the government's ability to mandate any medical products or procedures upon us. If you have mandates, as we do here in America, We need to remove those. It's one of my most prized victories for our nonprofit, Informed Consent Action Network. Just about a month ago, after a lot of hard work, we won back the religious exemption to vaccines in Mississippi, meaning there's only about 5 or 6 states in America that you can't opt out of the mandate for vaccines. That's your right to freedom to say, I disagree with this product. I'm not putting in my kids. California is where I was living that put me in the middle of this with the law SB 277 that took away my right to opt out. Mississippi was the first one to lose that right in 1979. Our nonprofit, through Aaron Sear, our lawyer, just won back their right to a religious exemption. We are going to use that as precedence to sweep America and give everybody back the right to opt out. What I would like to see is the future, and I think there's several presidential candidates right now. RFK Jr., I believe, will look at this. I believe Ron DeSantis potentially will look at this, and maybe even Trump, if he ends up being there. But we need to not have mandated medical procedures. It goes against the Nuremberg Code and our right to informed consent, which is we must be informed about all the benefits and negative side effects of any procedure or any medical product. If you want to give it to me, you have to tell me all that it can do and all that it can't do and what harms it may cause. And I am always allowed the right to say no. When there was a mandate, that right has been taken away. I believe that is a fundamental human right, is the right to informed consent. That's why my nonprofit's called the Informed Consent Action Network, and that's why we're so dedicated to the work that we do.
So glad you're doing that work. Congratulations on the lawsuit, and really appreciate that work. That's some long, determined, expensive, painful, thankless work that you guys do. So we really appreciate that. So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.